Hello and welcome to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young and so much is going on all across the sports world, so I'll get right to it. This year seems to be the year of money. I say that because it felt like every week a new record-breaking contract was signed somewhere in the sports world. This week was no exception. Last year, Shohei Ohtani's 10-year, $700 million contract shattered every conception of how large a contract can be. Just about a year later, that absurd record has already been broken in every conceivable way. The New York Mets have signed free agent Juan Soto to a 15-year contract for $765 million. Unlike Ohtani's, the deal contains no deferred money, contains incentives that could push the total value into the $800 million range, and has an opt-out clause which the Mets can void by dropping in another $40 million. This is the largest contract in all of sports history. On top of all that, Soto received a $75 million signing bonus simply for signing the contract. Whenever there's a massive contract like that, the little fun facts about the numbers are always pretty entertaining to read. So here's a few. The average 9-inning regular season MLB game lasted just under 2 hours and 40 minutes in 2024. Assuming that stays roughly the same and Soto plays 160 games in 2025, he'll be set to earn about $121,198 per hour. Just in case you're curious, that equates to about $2,020 per minute and about $34 per second. Soto also played an average of 1,338 innings in the field over the last 2 years. That means he'll earn about $38,000 per inning. It's physically hard to fathom that amount of money. Anyway, the 26-year-old Soto is coming off a season in which he helped lead the New York Yankees to a World Series appearance. In 7 seasons, the 6'2", 220-pound Soto has hit .285 with 201 home runs and 592 RBIs. Statistically, Soto is one of the best hitters we have ever seen since Barry Bonds. He's already a 4-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, batting champion, home run derby champion, and World Series champion. His .421 career on-base percentage is the best in baseball since he debuted. His .532 slugging percentage is 7th. His 769 career walks are the most for a player through their 25th birthday, 99 more than second place Mickey Mantle. Suffice to say, if anyone in the MLB is deserving of that kind of contract, it's Juan Soto. Baseball doesn't start for another few months, but not to worry, we still have plenty to hold us over until then, like the NFL. Week 14 was another great week with not too many surprises, but some exhilarating games. Starting on Thursday, the Lions outlasted the Packers in the divisional shootout, winning 34-31 and clinching their spot in the NFC playoffs. Sam Darnold yet again led the Vikings to their 6th straight win after he threw for a career-high 347 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 42-21 win over the Falcons. The biggest shock of the week was the Los Angeles Rams upsetting the Buffalo Bills, despite quarterback Josh Allen having a historic game. Allen passed for 342 yards and rushed for 82 yards as he became the first player in NFL history with 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns in a game. But it wasn't enough to overcome the Rams, who took a 44-35 lead over the Bills after quarterback Matthew Stafford hit Puka Nacua for a 19-yard touchdown. Allen ran his 3rd touchdown in to make the game 44-42, but the Rams held on to win in a high-scoring battle. To end the day on Sunday, the Chargers almost pulled off a massive upset of their own. With 1 second left on the clock, the Chargers were beating the Kansas City Chiefs 17-16. But yet again, the Chiefs found another incredibly lucky way to win. Chiefs kicker Matthew Wright lined up to kick the game-winning field goal from 31 yards out. The kick swung wide left, but managed to doink off the crossbar and into the uprights for the win. Yet another miraculous last-second win secured for the Chiefs, and that secured their 9th straight AFC West title. Not only that win is the only reason I did not have another 4-0 week with my picks. I still went 3-1, even though I was millimeters away from being undefeated. Anyway, I'm still 33-9 on the year, not too bad. Let's see if I can close out the season with less than 10 losses. This week, I'll pick the Commanders to get a win in New Orleans, the Broncos to beat the Colts at home in Denver, the Cardinals to get a much-needed win over the Patriots, and a pick I didn't think I'd make this season, the Panthers to continue their solid play and finally get a win over the Cowboys. Every week, I've been giving an update on the NFL playoff picture, so here's this week's look at it. The Chiefs and Bills still remain the 2 teams that have clinched in the AFC, but the Steelers, Texans, and Ravens all have over 97% odds to make the playoffs. The Chargers have an 89% chance, while the Broncos are still hanging around with a 74% shot. The Colts, Dolphins, and Bengals all have some very slight odds to earn a spot, while the Browns, Jaguars, Jets, Titans, Patriots, and Raiders are all officially eliminated from playoff contention. Fun fact, the Jets are the only team across the NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, and WNBA to have not made the playoffs since 2010. A 14-year drought is pretty rough. In the NFC, the Lions and Eagles have both secured their spots in the playoffs. With the exception of the Vikings and Packers having just about 100% odds to make it, the rest of the NFC is pretty much up for grabs. The Seahawks, Bucks, and Commanders have the best odds, but teams like the Rams, Falcons, Cardinals, and 49ers aren't out just yet. The New York Giants are the only NFC team to be officially out of the playoffs so far. Sorry, New York fans, hopefully next year is better. Speaking of weekly playoff updates, the college football playoff is officially set with a glorious 12-team format. The 12 teams are Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State rounding out the top 4, all with first-round byes, followed by Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Tennessee, Indiana, SMU, and Clemson. Even though the playoffs has expanded from 4 teams to 12, there are still some teams that feel like they got snubbed. Alabama, Miami, Ole Miss, Army, and South Carolina are all teams that had incredible seasons and by all means earned a playoff spot, but came up just short in the end. The first of all the bowl games this season kicks off this Saturday, but the first playoff games are still a week away. The first playoff game will be the matchup of number 10 Indiana at number 7 Notre Dame, which will be on the 20th at 5 p.m. on ESPN. I'll give more updates on the rest of the playoff games when they start next week, but wanted to be sure you knew when they began. From the IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl this Saturday to the College Football Playoff National Championship game on January 20th, 82 teams will play in at least one postseason game. It's officially bowl season. Also this weekend is the Heisman Trophy ceremony. If you aren't fully sure what the Heisman is, the Memorial Award has been awarded annually since 1935 to the top player in college football. It's considered the most prestigious award in college football. This year, the 4 Heisman finalists are Dylan Gabriel, Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, and Cam Ward. I made my case last week for why I personally think Jeanty should win, but all 4 of these athletes are very deserving of this award. The ceremony will be at 5 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN. If you just can't seem to get enough football, there's yet another great docuseries out on HBO to enjoy. Hard Knocks is famous for their preseason NFL documentaries, including this season with the Chicago Bears, which showcases life in the NFL on and off the field. In the past few years, Hard Knocks has had a few in-season series, and this year is trying something totally new. For the first time ever, Hard Knocks is following all 4 teams in one division, and it's starting in one of the league's most competitive, most physical, and most entertaining divisions, the AFC North. Each episode will give an inside look into the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, and Pittsburgh Steelers. The show is documenting the battle for the AFC North title during the final 6 weeks of the NFL season, as well as the playoff run for the division winner and any wildcard teams. Even though the Browns are eliminated from playoff contention, the remaining 3 teams are still fighting for their shot at the Super Bowl. Even if they aren't, more than any other division, the rivalries among these 4 teams run very deep, and every game is always exciting. The first episode released on December 3rd, and the second this past Tuesday, and will continue to release every Tuesday throughout the regular season and the playoffs. All episodes can be found on HBO and their streaming app, Max. It's that time of year where NFL reigns supreme. But with that said, the NBA In-Season Cup is still being played out, the NHL regular season's going strong, and we are slowly gearing up for March Madness. Be sure to come back next Friday for more news, updates, and highlights from all across the sports world. And, as always, thank you for tuning in. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.